Hi, Eric Gibaud, Gibaud.com, and today I'm going to speak about this. Filters by K&F Concept for drones. In this case, the mini one, well, mini is called mini, and mini 2. So I'm going to show you in details what they are for. So let's start. So you get a gift, propellers, 8 propellers, which is 4 sets of 2, okay? And here the box with the filters. You have a completely clear filter, which is a UV filter. Then you get a polarizer that you can actually turn. It's actually fine-tune the polarizing. I advise you put both marks, white marks, together in front of each other, so it's already tuned, I would say. And then you have 4 ND filters. You have ND8, sorry, 3 stops, ND16, 4 stops, ND32, 5 stops, ND64, 6 stops. So we're going to have a look at it to see what they are for and what results you get with that. Well, K&F Concept is really known for their filters. In this case, they use the same quality, AGC glass, 28 layers to protect against reflection, dust, oil and water. It's really useful when you fly. If there's a drop of water, rain that falls on the glass, it will slide, so it means you won't lose the take you're making right now. So really extremely good quality. Aluminum frame, really light. It's less than a gram. Yeah, less than a gram. It means your drone is still under the 250 gram limit, and that allows you in many countries to fly a lot easier, a lot more easy, not much license needed, all this. So good news, fantastic. So let's look at it. So why use filters on a drone? Well, this is basically for video, and this is the same reason as we use on a video camera, photo camera that we use also for video, smartphone or drones. The idea is to have a cine look. Cine look is like a motion blur. It's really soft the way things move. So how do you get that? Well, it's really simple. You need to have a shutter speed that is twice the amount of frame per second you're recording. If I record at 25 frames per second, then my shutter speed should be on 1/50th of a second. So when you use a camera, you can play to get the right exposure. You can play with ISO, shutter speed, and aperture. Although then you lock the shutter speed to the one you want, like 1/50th of a second, so you still have aperture and ISO to play with. If you're on the minimum ISO, then you can still play with the aperture. But when we look at drones or when we look at smartphone, there is no aperture on these cameras. So it means once you've locked the speed you want, like 1/50th of a second, and if you're on minimum ISO, there's no way you can cut light. It means to have the right exposure, you're going to push your speed, and in this case it will be properly exposed, but you will not have the right shutter speed to get this motion blur. So the only way is to use basically sunglasses. Okay, so if I place this on my drone camera, it will cut light without touching speed and having the ISO on minimum. Okay, so to give you an idea, you have ND64. It will drop speed from 1/3200th of a second down to 1/50th. ND32 5 stops from 1600 down to 1/50th. ND16 4 stops would drop from 1/800th to 1/50th. And ND8, sorry, 3 stops would drop from 1/400th of a second down to 1/50th of a second. So you see that this way, depending on the amount of light, you can get the right exposure, keeping the right shutter speed, so you get this motion blur. Okay, so this is that easy. Maybe you're not sure how it looks when you do it. What's the difference with the right speed and not with the right speed? So I asked my friend Gregory Audubert, who has a YouTube channel, also I'll leave you here the link, to record me. It was easier for me to speak and record at the same time, having the drone flying in front of me. So you can see the difference with and without filter, and see the difference with and without motion blur. Okay, so right now in automatic exposure I am on well, the drone is on 1/800th of a second. So as you can see, my hand is like a bit shaky like this, and I don't get this cine look. Okay, so I need to drop my shutter speed to have 1/50th of a second to have a special cine look. Okay, so now let's place the ND filter, you'll see the difference. So before, without filter, I was on 1/800th of a second. I should be on 1/50th, so it says 1/800, 1/400, 200, 150th, 4 stops. So I think I've got ND16. So now look at the way it looks. Okay, this is a lot smoother. Okay, this is motion blur, really cine look. Okay. So you've just seen with ND filter, I could drop shutter speed. Now I'm going to show you a rush just without any filter. So you see reflection on water, and then with the polarizer, so you see the difference. Okay. So maybe you wonder how do I pick the filter I should use? What is the best filter at any time? Well, it's really easy. You just take off with your drone and you look at the area you want to record, okay, your video. And you put your drone in automatic without any filter. And then you see what is reading. Normally we'll have ISO on minimum, and it will tell you the aperture, but you cannot change it. But it will also tell you the speed, okay? So it depends on the speed you read there, you know which filter would be useful. If it says 1600, well then if you want to be on 1/50th, it's 5 stop, ND32. If it says 1/400th of a second, well, this is, you need 3 stops, ND8 to go down to 1/50th. Okay, so you land your drone, okay, you place your filter, you take off again, but take off in automatic exposure again. Because when you place it, very often it comes so dark, so the drone you cannot see properly on the screen, and it doesn't adjust fast enough maybe, so it's easier to put, if it's still on, you didn't realize what was the exposure, so leave it in automatic, take off, and when you're on the place where you want to record, then you go on manual exposure, then you place the ISO on minimum, then you check the speed, you drop the speed to the right speed, okay, 1/50th of a second, and it should be properly exposed. If you see it's still a bit overexposed, well, maybe you took the wrong filter. If it's slightly bit underexposed, well, you can change filter, or you can put the ISO a bit up if you want, but still keep the same speed. Okay, normally it should be fine if you do it this way. So then when you come back, you go back on automatic and fly back to your point, and that's it. And now the question is, what's about this one, this see-through UV filter? Do you need it? Well, I think honestly, optically, you don't need it, okay? But there is a use, two actually. One is to protect the lens of your drone, first one. And second, I tested another brand of filters, it was okay. But when I had no filters and then I placed one on, the drone has to be recalibrated, the gimbal. And in this case, it weighs exactly the same thing, so you could keep this one always on. And when you're going to place another one, the drone will not ask to calibrate again because the weight is still the same. So that easy. So I think all 6 filters are useful, okay? Maybe you wonder how you place this filter. Well, it's really easy. I'll show you right now. As you can see, you have some kind of like 2 small hooks on the filter, and on top of your camera there's some kind of like a radiator, something like this. Well, you just hook this in there and then you clip the filter on front of the lens, and that's it. It's really, really simple. Take it on, take it out, really easy. So my conclusion, well, I think these filters are great. The only thing I would have liked to have maybe a separate kit, or maybe they'll do it in the future, but to have the possibility to have ND filters plus a circular polarizer. So this way, if you want to cut light and also polarize, you could do it. But still, I think this kit is fantastic because it's really affordable. So for people who are on a budget, this is maybe why they have a Mini and a Mini 2 and not a lot more expensive drone, or maybe just because they want it, okay, no problem. But if you're on a budget, this is a great option to have, to give some pro look to your video for an affordable price. So yeah, completely recommendable. So thank you very much, Greg, for helping me. Thank you, K&F Concept, for sending me the filter. If you're interested, I'll leave you links in the description of where you can buy them. Thank you very much to you for watching the video. If you feel it may interest other people, please share it on social networks. If you have not done it yet, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Small button down here, a small bell. If you click on the bell, get notified when I upload a new video. My website, ericgibaud.com. If you have any question, can leave a comment below. Also leave you links of my gear on Amazon, links of everything I've reviewed by K&F Concept and Sandmark, and also a link to my PayPal account in case you wanted to make a donation. You can also do it with the under every video with a small heart with a $sign. You can make a donation there. No obligation, obviously, but it really helps. So thank you very much. Please take care and see you soon. Bye.